I'm Heather Lamont Pape. I'm an executive coach with Mitra, and I do coaching and I do leadership development. I'd like to tell you a little bit more about myself. Like, how did I ever get into this executive coaching and leadership development? It's been a long time that I've been doing this. As you can tell, the gray hair is real. And I absolutely love executive coaching. And I started out about 20 years ago. And I have been trained. I'm part of the International Coach Federation. I have my PCC, my professional coaching certification, had a number of years of training. So it's something that I'm very passionate about, and I like to help my clients because it's so wonderful to see them come through with the ahas and be able to work through their issues and develop as a leader. What I consider myself is a thought partner, because a lot of times when you're coaching executives or anyone, they're kind of stuck and they can't get beyond because they're so wrapped up in it. I help them look at issues differently and also think differently about it. And our conversations are a safe place. A lot of times executives don't have a safe place to talk about some of the more pertinent issues that they have. And another thing I do is I coach the whole person, because not only is it work issues, but as we all know, we bring our personal life into the work area. So I'm not a therapist by any means, but the whole person can affect your leadership. So I do coach the whole person. What are some of the biggest leadership challenges I've seen across different industries? Because I've coached in sales areas in the federal government across many different agencies at many different levels. It's how do they deal with the constant change? How do they deal with different management issues? And a lot of times they need to delegate, especially a new leader. New leaders have trouble getting out of where they were, and when they move up, they have a different level of responsibility. But when things get tough, they go back down into what they're most comfortable with, and that was the job they had before. You lead people, so remember that you're in the people business. And that's something that I work with executives a lot, is how do you get to know your people, how you get to have them be comfortable with you. And you're in the people industry, because if the people don't do the work, you're not going to be successful. We have another program that we talk about called Bud to Boss. I mentioned a little bit about when you go from a level where you're a performer. A lot of times what companies do is they promote their best performer into a management position. And that can be a very challenging time. So we work with these people on what we call a Bud to Boss program, because they were the buddies of all those people they're now supervising, and now they're the boss. So that's a whole different arena and a whole different area. So there are some books that we use, that the first 90 days, because those are the most critical period of time to make the right impressions and to be able to do what needs to be done and help with the trust factor with their new direct reports. My role at Mitra does align with my coaching experience, because at Mitra, I work with the clients that we have, which are in the telco industry. And a lot of them are smaller telecommunication companies that the people haven't had a lot of leadership training, and they haven't had a coach. So there's some the things that we work on there. They're common to other industries. I also worked with engineering firms. So it's kind of across the board with Mitra as to who I've worked with and how I can help. I use DISC assessment, which helps them understand how they relate to other people and how other people relate. Are they a driver? Are they someone who's very much an extrovert? Are they someone who is very concerned about getting everything right and they want the data? Or are they someone who likes to have things very steady? They don't like a lot of change and they like it steady. It's good to know what your preference is and what your employee's preference is too, because then you can understand how they communicate. The other thing that I've used is what we call a 360. And a 360 is not meant to be used for performance review or anything like that. The 360 is used, it's 120 questions, and it finds out, because you fill it out, the boss fills it out, direct reports fill it out, and peers. And all of that comes together and to see where the weaknesses are. There are different categories that it looks at, and that will see the weaknesses that are there, and it helps me determine, and I do it with the person, and it's all confidential. They don't have to show this report to anyone. I see it, and the participant sees it. It's up to them if they show it to their boss. So what we do then with the results of that is we take a look, the employee and myself, and we pick out 3 or 4 areas in leadership that they would like to work on in a coaching agreement. Thank you for your time. I'm Heather Lamont Pape, and it's been a pleasure talking with you. If you'd like to reach out to me, I can be contacted at heather@mitraconsulting.com. Thank you for your time.